We come from attempting to break into cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't go well. Broke into one. Just got a bag. Didn't have much, like 10 bucks in it. Ke kwatile.
So now, take us to the day that you get home and what you get done about day.
So I left home to go and use, because that time I came back. That was around the time my mom brought me back. She said from the 1st of January, I'll be allowed back home.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to our podcast. I came, I saw, I conquered. This is still episode 1, part 2. Please go back and watch part 1, because as we're trying to break down addiction for you, we had to start with part 1, which was the root cause of addiction. It's important for you viewers to understand that a person just doesn't wake up and be addicted in one day. There was a root cause, childhood trauma, many other things. So that's why in part 1, we had to go back in our guest's young history. So this is episode 1, part 2, whereby now we're going to explain the symptoms of addiction. Remember that alcohol and drugs are just symptoms. The problem is with us. So it was important for us to break it down from where it started, what happened, and where it is now. So we're gonna carry on with Moachi's life story, and yeah, he's here again, my friend.
My friend.
Welcome. So please introduce yourself again.
Yes.
For our viewers. Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Moachi Mukatsani. I'm a grateful recovering addict and alcoholic.
Yes, sir. So let's jump straight into it.
Yeah, man.
So now you are in Bloom. Your bursary is gone, Eskom bursary. Now your mom is busy paying Eskom, and then you went to Bloom again. You tried there 6 months doing nothing, and now you back in Porch. You back home.
Yeah.
You're not working. You're not doing anything. Yeah. Now it's the guilt, it's the shame. You're just looking at your mother, and opportunities are down the drain, and you're still smoking. Take us through that.
So now I'm back. In my head, I told myself that the using is occasional.
Yeah.
And the drinking is also part-time. But now remember, there's a whole lot of frustration that comes with lack of resources, especially when you have a very costly relationship. I used to love calling it a relationship. I had a very committed, very faithful relationship, very toxic though.
Yeah.
Relationship with substances, because they were my escape plan.
Yeah.
They were my escape plan, and the only time I would truly be relieved was when I was under the influence. So yeah, it's around 2016. Yeah, because I dropped out 2015 from the Northwest University, and I went to Bloom 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I went to 2016 second semester. Sharp, I went to Bloom, used cat basically, and a whole lot of black label, a whole lot of alcohol. So now I'm back home. I'm trying to make excuses for my shortfalls. You know, that's when I also became aware of my denial, because with the first institution, the denial was strong. So there's very little potency to the truth, the back of my head. It's not yet as potent. You know, the thing about negative attributes or character defects in a person is that they start off strong, but they lose their potency. And that which is pure within the human starts off weak.
Yeah. That just hit me because I can relate so much. I can relate so much, because you get to a point where now you don't care anymore. You just want to do what you want to do.
Yeah, because now, remember, there's a grieving process that happens. That one thing I need to highlight before I go further now is that everything that is happening in the subconscious is resisted, is strongly resisted by the conscious mind.
Yeah.
Because my will is to get my instant verifications and gratifications.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So as I move forward, you must always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So now subconsciously, I'm in a very miserable place because regret is overwhelming me. The guilt of not doing what was needed to achieve whatever it is that I had sought out to do with my life.
And just hold on there. Just hold on there, because you were bright, and your family knew, and people around your neighborhood knew that you were the smart guy, and now you were in the Northwest University, and then all of a sudden you were in Bloom, and now you're back home. Obviously, they're gonna start asking questions. They start asking questions. Go kasi. They start asking questions. Go family gatherings.
But remember now, within our community, things happen with chit chat.
Yeah,
there's always trickery and chit-chat.
Yeah, gossip.
Yeah, you can see the talks, but you don't actually experience them. You get, and now that also adds on to the fuel of everything.
Yeah,
because deep down now, there's a rage towards myself that I have. I have rage towards myself, but I won't let it show because I'm in denial. People must know that I have a plan, or I must come up with some or other excuse why things didn't go my way.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm an addict and I need to be loved.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned is that we're not willing to do the work which is necessary. We want to take shortcuts.
Yeah.
And taking shortcuts means doing the least possible work to fit in. Like associating yourself with the group, with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's where it all started, because now I could notice, then I couldn't, but now I could notice the pattern of wrong friends I was making.
Yeah. But now, I agree, it was alcohol.
Yes.
Weed.
Yes.
Cat.
Yes.
Now you're now into crystal.
I'm gonna tell you the story how I got into crystal. Because now this brings us back to the topic of an addiction breeds an addiction.
Yeah.
Look, get that.
And Happy, I agree, we need to remember that addiction is a progressive disease.
Yes.
It doesn't get better
somewhere.
It gets worse.
Yes.
So obviously you're gonna take harder and harder and harder and harder drugs, because you're just chasing the high, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. So now let's take us back to the day you tasted crystal.
So I was with a friend, Wasalu, that I mentioned, that had rented out a place at a known dealer. So he had his other friend, who, funny enough, is also a hairstylist, but from town.
Yeah.
So we were chilling, drinking, and then I had bought cat. But they had crystal. I didn't know. So the cat was done. Loli, so se sa glass yana ka bolo mo pele. Ke fenya. Manja ba tshela ba ja. Ke re mona nkinye mo. Man, you know what this dude said? He said, yeah, sa tse. Ke re yang. Ke re mona ke tsene. A ke tsene. O tsebe, another thing about being an addict is that you convince yourself that something that someone is doing is right because of their physical appearance.
Yeah.
You make excuses in your head to justify a certain action, a wrong decision that you're about to make. That I was good.
Yeah.
Up the whole night. Whole night ke shebeletse batho ba robetsa. A ke re bone ba itlwaetse. Ba robetse ba khutsitse mebele. Nna ke tsogile.
Your body's in shock.
Ke finya lungi. Monato mongaka. Wabo? Sharp. Time progresses with this friend. We make another friend. Oh, yanong kwa budi kawashi. Kwa mo strateng yanong is interconnected with the people in the streets, you know, local gangs and what. So, ke a ke tlo re ithuta Mandrakes. Ba e jaka down. Ndanda.
Yeah. So now
that was
it's
the last straw.
From Crystal to Ndanda. Mandrakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that was not the last straw. That's when I got hooked. And remember, I'm not yet slender. I was medium bodied.
But at home, behavior.
Oh, brah, I'm a.
I get now you are in Crystal, you are in Mandrakes now.
I'm a bully.
Because I get how na chelete.
And I know these are very expensive habits. I'm a bully. And I know as an addict, I was a coward.
Yeah.
Because there are things which you could do which are against the law to get a fix. As per stigma. You know, robberies, breaking and entering, theft and stuff like that. But I don't have the guts to go out. Hence I made another friend through this friend of saloon. You as a known felon and known convict. Kunje.
But now I hear that. Take us to now Katru. Your mother.
I'm a bully.
How are you treating your mother?
I'm a bully. The only time I'm treating my mother well is I'm fachelete or when I do something in the house or in the yard that is gonna make me money. Because we've always had that arrangement that, you know, especially when it comes to technical stuff like fixing DIY jobs, small things, even the pavement, it's in Twekin, you know. So yeah, and I did that while I was still using. So all that money smoked it away. So yeah, the treatment was bad. There was a time I remember she was washing her cups at a spring cleaning. I took that thing and threw it to the ceiling. The cups because
she didn't want to give you money.
No, I didn't have money. I just didn't have it in me to ask because every time I asked for money, it was a fight.
Yeah.
So I'd use the smallest disagreements to treat her like shit, basically. You understand? So it was the shouting. I'd shout her, bruh. I'd shout, and I'd tell her horrible things. There were times I'd even swear at her. And it would eat me up afterwards. In my head, I was telling myself that I'm getting my point across.
And when how did that affect her, like health-wise?
Her health started deteriorating, man, because her hypertension wasn't as bad up until I started using. And now she's conflicted because I'm treating her like shit, but at the same time, she wants me to be well. Do you understand? I have a very detrimental effect. A very, 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 very horrific effect on her mental health, most importantly. And already she has diabetes. So I was just aggravating all the chronic illnesses that she has.
Yeah.
Little did I know that I have one of my own.
So tell me, were you not stealing in the house?
I did.
What's the biggest thing you stole?
I didn't. The biggest, I would say, it was children's clothes. There were items of clothing, especially
for your niece and your nephew.
Niece, yes. There were pieces of clothing that I would take because they had already grown. You know, and my mom had this thing that one day if I have a child, then they might get to wear some of those clothes. They were good quality clothes, very clean and very fresh. So I take some of those, put them in a plastic, go and sell them for a fix. I remember this one time, there was this other dude who wanted a gas stove. And I just seen it. Katlu. How long ago has it been used? So I took it. I stole my own TV from the house, bruh.
Your own TV?
I bought myself a TV, 32-inch Samsung LED.
You stole it?
I stole it. Ka suitcase. Leather.
We can take a suitcase.
Take a suitcase. Yo. Ke be sale ke re ko bonyane ke iketsa ole ka reng ke angala go gae.
100 the TV la.
Yo ke isa go o khale a tsa di breaking and
entering. Le
ena ba nthuba tlho. Because I deep down all I wanted was a fix, and you always had a fix.
Yes, tell me about because you told me already you'd sell something and then maybe you ask for like 500 and then you end up leaving there 150. So that fella, you get your fix.
Perfect example is the TV, bruh. So this guy, I took the TV go in, and we agreed upon a price. Yeah, $700. Meanwhile, mind you, I always see where he sells TVs of the same size, cover 1.2.
Yeah.
So obviously he's planning to make a profit of $500.
Sure.
From already clar sets I'm fine omfa beke, omfa 150. Sharp. Like in so obviously mentally he's cutting those things off.
Hey, how minus? Hey, but he's not telling you.
He's not telling me anything. And then more later 100 rand, you know, because now I was deep in. Yo, I was deep in, bruh.
Sure, and then that incident where
it was with him. It was with him. So I loved to consider myself an honest user. Although there's nothing like
that. No.
You know that whole thing of there's no honor amongst thieves?
Yeah.
I love to go against that.
Yeah.
I love to go against that. So we come from attempting to break into cars and stuff. It didn't go well. Broke into one. Just got a bag. Didn't have much, like 10 bucks in it.
And you're like, this thing.
Yeah. So to cut the long story short, when we got to cars, because this guy's friend.
Yeah.
It's his birthday. He's been having fun and stuff. So, di brafan me. Itse re fitla ko gene. Aba tswa khapa banyana, o tsa sketa jo, and then ke etsang ke plomile mo transing le di hot man. Phone ke yo mo tlase ga radio. But now I used to love having this loyalty thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to fit in, I want to be loved.
Sure.
What can I say? So he comes back. When he comes back, I leave because he has drugs on him. And I want some drugs. At least ke tsamaye ke go betsa nyana ke tla gutla. I ke gutla sharpo go te nna ke tseile phone.
The phone is gone.
The phone is gone. It's a rookie demand.
Oh man.
It's a rookie demand. So at the time he shot himself in his hand.
He shot himself in his hand.
Yeah, by mistake.
Hey.
Pela it was around the beginyana tse le tsa bo kainoko. Yeah. So he had a pistol. I don't know how it came about for him to shoot himself, but in any case he did. So he was using one arm. So what he's trying to do is that to pass off the blame on me.
He's injured, he can't steal.
Yeah. So o tla ka garafunyana engwe e khabategileng, so o nnetse go mo chesting yaka. So I see what he's trying to do. This guy is just trying to get me to get out the room so we can stop this whole interrogation thing.
So now it's a huge interrogation. So but way enough for the phone.
The hot man again chomi ya gagwe wa mo believe, and then now I'm telling him to his face go Raymond ke demand
ke ena tsereng garafo
go gone dimane wa tswa ke ntse ke blela di hot man gore nka se go ga phone ke be santse ne ke tsamaya le wena go batlana le motho o itse go o batlana le phone wa gago. But because we are users,
of course they're not going to believe you.
I mean, but I knew deep down gore ke demand.
But now
from bra. So ha re tswela ko ntle ne gona le mo a ngata. I was supposed to go down, bra, you know. I don't know why I didn't. Something in me just said usasa ke zama go bontsha o le go o a serious ka didenge, because even the fosana bitsa ka yon, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much, to be honest. In any case, sharp, I'm cut. I go home. My mom's like,
sure.
So now, to show you that I'm an addict, I go to the hospital. Ne? Yeah. Mole ke tswa go casualty, ke tsama go casualty, a ke ba mpofile. Ke tsama go casualty. When I get back to Kasi, I lie about my neighbor. Call my mom. Makhelwane umfile 50. Di fake le metse. A kere wena o batla go mfa. Ka nkrela jama ga mfa 50. O lady ka mfa. When my mom gives me back that $50, nako itu. Because that's all I could think about. Even when I went home to show her the card, I wasn't showing her that I wanted medical help. I just wanted her to give me money to take myself to the hospital so I can use.
You manipulating her.
Hey.
Got your card. Felons a shelter so you can go.
Hey.
So you were at that level now.
Hey.
That you would use anything just to fella to make your mom feel bad so she can give you the money.
Exactly.
So now let's go further. Now obviously mama, she's tired.
Now she's had enough.
Now you've lost weight.
Yeah.
Now you are with the wrong crowd. Now she calls Diketane.
Yeah, but Diketane, it was before now. Kiskima di brafane.
Yeah.
That was when I was still with the barber, the hairstylist. And now 2019 December she chased me away from home. And
so you were homeless at some point?
Yes. And I forced her to cash in some policy that I had. It was small money. And December, there were a lot of friends in the mix, bruh. So now what am I doing? I'm people pleasing. I'm people pleasing because I'm using that money to accommodate for my drug usage while I'm at that place.
Auntie, why did she cash out that money? What was the purpose for that money?
The purpose for that money, it was an educational fund that my father took out for on my behalf. And that thing, it was going to cash out by the time I turned 31. When it matures, it was supposed to be like 100 and something. But it was still premature at that time. If you could, when she cashed it out, it was about 27, I think. Yeah, so. But I was forcing her to because she was chasing me out of her house. So I was like, you know what? Give me that.
Was that your plan?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, take us to the day that you get home and
so I left home to go and use, because that time I came back. That was around the time my mom brought me back. She said from the 1st of January, I'll be allowed back home. Sharp. When I'll do room, go hide.
Yeah.
So she let me stay in one of them. Man, she'd be away for quite some time and I could tell that something's off, but I was too preoccupied in my addiction for me to actually follow up on it, you know. So yeah, only to find out she was planning at my aunt's house to get me abducted, because these people, what they do is that they come and then they take you abruptly without any notice, without anyone saying anything. They just seem like random people. And because Ronaldo room, I just thought these are people that are trying to get an accommodation, you know. Only to find out that these people are here to kidnap me. Okay, I went away for 6 months. And I convinced myself that I'll stop smoking. But that was me convincing myself.
So
I had not admitted that I had a problem.
You were still in denial.
Yes.
So your mother kind of forced. She
forced recovery on
yeah.
me, and it didn't work. But it was also a punishment because she was aware of the type of treatment that was going on at that place.
So they chained you for 6 months.
For 6 months.
On chains.
On a chain. On my ankle.
Did they have a program?
Yeah, it was a biblical problem. I used to say that these people are religious extremists because they were using the old ways to get whatever it is that they wanted.
They didn't have a 12-step program.
Yeah. So they chained 7 of us on one lock. You have a chain which is like 1.5 meters long, which runs from your ankle. I have a chain. The cameraman has a chain. You understand?
Yeah.
So all of us, we have a chain, and then we are locked on by the tips of those chains onto one lock, and we all have to move in sync.
Yeah.
It's more like an anchor, baby.
For 6 months.
Yeah, but as time progresses, they reduce the amount of people.
So it was from 7
from 7 to 3. From 3 months, short step. That's when they chain both legs.
Short step. Literally.
Well, you take short steps. The last, and then there's a one, a tracker. Why do they call it a tracker? Is that both your legs, they are free. You can walk as you want. But the chain is not removed.
Yeah.
It's not removed.
Yeah.
It's, you just find a way to just fasten it around your waist or something, you know?
But the time you were there, did you come to a point to be like, hey, you know what? I really need to stop.
No, I convinced
I've
myself.
messed up my life.
I convinced myself from a third person's point of view. I didn't see need for change. I didn't see need. I didn't even have the desire to stop.
No.
I just throw it through a third person's eye view.
So your mom could see your rock bottom, but right now you couldn't see it.
I couldn't see it because
You
I was
thought-
not ready to admit.
Yeah, you were still in denial.
I was not ready to admit.
So you came back from the Ketane,
Yes.
and then what happened?
I started eating chocolates and whatnot, and we had 2 cars.
You were like, you're in recovery now. And you were deceiving your mother,
basically,
because deep down you knew
exactly.
how you were not recovered.
I came back the day before my birthday. Tomorrow's my birthday, ne? Sharp, my birthday happened. A week after is a known friend of ours' birthday. Wakudi Basi. So that following week, he decided that, you know what, I'm going to do something for myself, for himself. He does it. Kidi case it's black, what. So I'm like, man, let me drink. It's not bad. I mean, it's not drugs. It's just the beer.
Yeah, you like, my problem is drugs, alcohol.
Drugs are the problem.
Yeah.
Not me.
We're not sharp.
But
The drugs.
Hey, sharp. We drink. The following weekend after the birthday party, we go out to Africana. It's during lockdown, remember? We go to Africana. And that's when I relapsed, because now I was getting sloshed of gin. And all that was going through my head was remembering the times I used to get sloshed, and there was always a bag of drugs in my pocket. Those were good times. So I relapsed with the little bit of change I had left in my pocket. I went and got myself a bag, and I used. And the first thing that happened is that I threw up. I threw up, and that's when I knew what I'm back in. My mom bought me a phone, Y9P. Huawei. It was a very beautiful phone. I love that phone with all of my heart. Sold it. Because I couldn't tell myself the truth that I'm selling this phone.
So what they say when they say that a relapse is 10 times worse.
Yes. When they say relapse is 10 times worse, I hadn't been arrested before.
How quick did your mom realize that you've relapsed?
It didn't take long, bruh. It didn't take long. Plus, there were boys that I grew up with that I used to smoke with at the time. Nah. They already went to go and tell her that I sold my phone.
And she knew. And she knew. She knew.
Well, at first she didn't tell. She couldn't tell, but she knew.
But I can imagine her disappointment. I mean, I can only imagine.
It ripped her heart into pieces. It ripped her heart into pieces. And now she was at the point of giving up, because I mean, the extremes that she took, bruh, I can only imagine how it felt to her to see her son dragged off in chains after having orchestrated all of that, going through all the trouble, only to have me relapse.
Yeah.
Okay, fast forward. I've been in and out of holding cells now twice. Shit scared to call her.
I was gonna ask if she was bailing you.
Yeah, I was shit scared.
Hey, but our parents, ne?
Because I grew up with this thing of her telling me that, you know what, us, my family, we don't have money for bail. We don't visit children.
I know that.
We have money for school. We have money for positive things.
Not for these other bad things.
And to show you the love of a parent, bruh, she told me that she could get here in time, but she was with the kids. So let's wait for them to go to school, and I'll come first thing in the morning. I was happy, bruh. Yo, I was happy because the 2 weeks that I stayed there, I was stressed.
And then I can only imagine like the day she bails you out, you are making happy promises, Mama. I promise
Obvious.
I'm gonna do it again.
Raya ko nga keng.
In Sangoma.
Eh.
Sangoma
Ba mfuthisa ke a phatsiwa kaka.
What was your problem? You were bewitched.
Go na le something se se seng sharp ka. So tshantse ke fothe ke ntse me moya ke tla nna ke gape ke tla nna sharp. Ba shebile that was the only time now I could fully admit to myself, but that time it was with pride that these ones they are taking chances. These ones they are taking chances. Now I'm a fully fledged thief. I'm a robber. I break into people's cars. I break into people's homes in town. These ones they are taking chances.
Now you've lost a lot of weight.
I've lost weight, fedile. I don't have clothes anymore. The clothes that I have are of my former size. So you can imagine the do you understand?
Yo, but addiction.
Yeah, bro.
But addiction man. And then now
let's go to the dark parts.
Yeah, now you are hitting your rock bottom for the second time.
How it happens is that now
and now you must remember you are hitting your rock bottom from a relapse, meaning now 10 times.
Yeah, but I can't honestly call that a relapse because I had not intended to stop using. That was not me saying I'm stopping. Yes, while I was there, I had convinced myself only to make the stay more bearable and more enjoyable.
So you always had reservations.
I always knew that the first thing that I'm gonna do when I get back, I'm gonna buy a big bag of crystal, a fresh tool, a lighter, some Mendrax, break a bottle, get weed, get cigarettes. Boy.
So now let's go deep into your rock bottom.
Now my rock bottom happens. I've been to the cells. I've been,
Yeah.
Now I can't hide my what's going on in the subconscious anymore. I feel shame of walking in the streets. People looking at me, knowing the potential that I had, and where and who I've become.
Sure.
And the first significant time that my rock bottom hit me was when the friend from Pretoria, from high school.
Your high school friend. Ish.
I used to call him almost every week to ask for $100 and I'd make sure that I get it. He gave it to me nonetheless. And
he knew you were using.
He knew. He started asking around. This guy. But he wasn't telling the people that he was asking. I'm always calling him and stuff, And we talked on the phone and he was like, he's coming. And he came. He came. He's like, dog, I'm taking you. I'm like, bro, I'm not ready. But that was the first time I actually drew up the courage within myself to look at myself. Because each and every time I'd look in the mirror, I'd still be afraid to look. When you look and then you have thoughts. That time I would suppress my thoughts and look. But for the first time when my friend came, something sparked. How can someone love me more than I love myself? So much that he'll take time out of his very busy schedule to come and take me and take care of my habits.
Where was he taking you?
He wanted to take me to a rehab that he knew.
Yeah.
That he's been researching on my behalf. You understand?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't understand what the hell was going on. I've never felt, and I could see it. That was the first time I could see pain in a man's eyes. For someone that he cared about.
So now you refused, or you said you were not ready?
I said I wasn't ready, but it hit. It hit. That was the first little impact. Even my mom taking me to that place wasn't impacting it. The one person who showed me what I've been looking for ever since my father passed away. Genuine care.
So do you think maybe that day it sparked because you knew that I was in high school with this guy, and you actually looked where he was in life and where you were in life?
Yes.
And You had to be honest with yourself.
It was
the first
beyond
time.
that. I needed hope.
Mm.
I was hopeless. I started feeling hopeless. I started feeling loveless. There was no point to life anymore.
Addiction was suffocating you.
And yes, that's the perfect. Those are the perfect words. It was like a black hole, and it was sucking and sucking and sucking, and I didn't have the strength to keep hold.
So take us to the day
I decided to stop.
Yes, when you decided you're gonna seek help now.
So I was using, and it wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. I didn't enjoy the hits, the highs, nor the lows. Nothing.
You used to live and live to use.
And nothing was fun anymore. I was just merely existing, and that sufficed. I couldn't even feel pain anymore. It was numb. But whatever I was feeling was horrible. It was horrible. And I told my mom, I need help. Come out. Because I went back home that day early, to tell her that I'm ready. And this weekend I'm gonna use for one last time. I'm using, and if you don't make a plan, it's over for me. I didn't know what that meant, but I think I was slowly contemplating suicide.
Yeah. You'd had enough.
Negele sharp, and I couldn't live this existence.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't living, it was existing. I was dead on the inside.
So did your mom believe you though?
You know, my mom heard me in that night doing my laundry and cleaning my room, getting it clean and ready for me to leave. And like, I want to use this word. I was fucking off from that life. I was ripping myself out of addiction no matter what it took. Because I couldn't anymore.
So she said it's fine. I'll help you.
She said it's fine. Because she's been watching Uyapuza 99.
Yeah.
And people have been getting the type of help and the results that she wanted to hear. Though they were premature, they gave her hope.
So you guys, you packed your bags on what? On Monday?
She packed my bag. I was out using, but I was saying goodbye.
Was it after the weekend now?
After the weekend. I was supposed to leave the Monday, I think, but she was struggling to get a driver because her eyesight is not well. So she got the driver, I think, by Tuesday, on the 2nd of February.
To drive you guys.
To drive us there. I got home used up, bruh. I had been awake for days, and I made sure. I made sure so much that I didn't even take my toiletries when we left.
So you guys went to Tranquility?
Yo, bruh. I got there. The staff was welcoming, loving. And I was so eager to stop using. When I got there, I found out that there were meetings. There's a 3-day detox period. On the 2nd day, I was already at it just for today.
Yeah.
At it just for today. That's where you get messages of that day and what the focus is as an addict for that particular day. I remember as a newcomer, you go almost through different stages. Like school, and I was told that here we are going to learn the 12 steps of recovery. You're gonna hear 3 weeks. You're gonna stay 3 weeks, 4 at most. And my mom was paying cash, bro. The double cab that I loved so much.
Yeah,
it was sold
for you.
The money invested, bro, for a day like that.
So your mom sold her car to take you to rehab.
Dog, I love that double cab.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. They asked us in the group, what is an addict?
This is now in rehab, yeah.
What is an addict? For the first time, I'm a person who loves answering. I don't leave a question unanswered. For the first time, I shut up and listen. Because for the first time, I needed real solutions.
Yeah.
Not just something, no. I had tried everything. You know when they say, when you're feeling hopeless, leave everything to God.
Sure, yeah.
This is one of those stories. So They say it's someone who lives to use and uses to live. But re tlotlang ditori tsa lona. Re tlotleng.
And you're like, I'm not alone.
Wa utlwa mara gote wa utlwa mara what do you guys have in common? Obongara area. One story, different versions.
Sure. Yeah.
But Emona, this is a place where we love you until you learn to love yourself. But the reason you guys are here is that you guys have acknowledged that for you to be here, those who really want to come here, not those who have brought my parents. Yeah. You noticed that you wanted to stop, but you couldn't know how. What do you think the problem is? But the problem is that you are trying to do things on your own. And you don't have the strength. That's why you are here. Oh. I'm like, yo, if there was ever a time I needed to hear things, I'm like, this is now. This was divine intervention. Because when I went to my mom and asked her, I want to go, something just came over me, bruh. And I was like, I'm taking this. It was like a short burst of courage. Correct. Or something or someone whispered in my ear, though I was alone. Now's the time. Now's the time. And everything started to make sense. From the time I felt horrible, wanting to die, I wasn't suicidal, but I was headed there. And I felt life was better off with me dead than me being alive. Yeah. Because I couldn't even bear to look at myself and stand myself looking at the pain I've caused other people. So, but step one, you have to admit to yourself that you have a problem. You are here because you are in ICU. This is mental, physical, but most importantly, spiritual ICU. Yeah. When you are here, it means you've been to either 2 or 3 of the institutions. Sure. That need here. You've been through 2 outcomes. Death. When you are here. Yeah. Jails, institutions, or death. Yo. And the first death is not physical. The first death happens before you are physically dead. That's how I felt. So yeah, they're like, you need to find a power greater than yourself to help you take you through this. Yeah. You can't do it by yourself. And you can't want to help that power do it. Yeah. You understand? And most importantly, the thing that you have in you, once you've admitted that you are an addict, you have to acknowledge. Now we tell you what an addict is and what addiction is. You've admitted that you are an addict. Now let's tell you what addiction is. Addiction is a disease. It's a chronic disease, which made sense. Yeah. Which made sense because as much as I want to use again, I can't. Like a normal person. They were like, yeah, well, you can't. Because you have an allergic reaction. Yeah. You have an allergy to substances. 1 is too many and 1,000 is never enough. Which made sense. Yeah. But more hospital, and it would only be stupid and insane of you to go back out there and use again, only to come back. Yeah. So now, 3 weeks rehab. I was like, I wanted a 4th week. Because now in those 3 weeks, those 3 weeks, they cover the first 3 steps. Yeah. The amount of time needed for you to at least get a foundation for your recovery. Yeah. If you can afford it, you'll go for a step 4, which I requested. Because the first step is admitting that I'm powerless over substances. Yeah. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just me, and it's a disease that I have. The second step says you have to admit that there's only a power that can restore you back to sanity, which is greater than yourself, which is the God Almighty. Yes. You understand? And I needed to acknowledge how He's going to help me do that, which is by following the spiritual program. The 3rd week was about handing my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood Him. Now you are surrendering to God. I'm surrendering my whole life to this program because this program is proving to be sensual, and it has physical results of people who are still in recovery, because the only time you can say that you have fully recovered is when you go 6 feet under.
Yeah.
You understand? The fourth step is the most important one, which says I have to make a fearless and moral inventory of myself. What is that? The first 3 steps, you reboot. The fourth one, you reset. I have to reset the whole system.
Yeah.
From the spiritual aspect to the mental to the emotional to the physical. They all unfolded.
Yeah.
So I have to go down to the root cause of what it is that brought me to the life that I was living. What sparked my addiction? Addiction is in every one of us, because I once also asked the counselor, I was like, can this thing be passed down? They're like, yes. There has to be a lineage of addiction. No matter what it may be.
It's in the bloodline.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Father.
Yeah. Father. Asian, and then when
and the people pleasing, I see it from him too.
Yes.
The wrong ways of living. You can't go with your son toward heaven.
Oh, bro, do you think maybe your dad was suffering? That's why he ended up taking his life.
Yes. That only makes sense.
Yeah. Addiction in him, and he didn't know what to do.
He didn't know what to do. He didn't have the proper information.
Yeah.
National knowledge in Nakinalingyon. Hence, I sought out to be the difference.
So now, step 4, you're done. Now you are out of rehab. Now you are back home.
No, before we leave rehab, I meet this sick friend of mine.
Which one?
Who used to be my neighbor, brah. And we used to drink. The host of this show, this one. 2 weeks down the line, admit I go rehab. And no, ka normal ya no go dimpa tse ke a di itse. Tira e bona structure se ka se itse. My friend, even you are here. But it only made sense. Because even when I was in rehab, I could trace my rehab to my alcoholism. When I think about it back in varsity, bruh, when I couldn't wait to just be free, drink as much as I want. So it only made sense.
Yeah, man.
And I wasn't laughing, but I was relieved that
this is a real thing. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And quarter of rehab, I was told that, listen, we have 5 pillars. Meetings, first, most importantly, higher power. Whether it's God, whether it's your ancestors, whatever power that you recognize as being higher than your physical self, that can help you get through, that can give you strength to get through in tough times.
Yeah.
That is the one you look up to.
The 5 pillars.
The 5 pillars.
Yeah.
Higher power.
And
then there are meetings.
Yes.
Meetings, service, sponsor.
Step work.
Step work.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, man.
So you're out now.
Step work.
You back home.
I was happy. You know.
What was the difference between now and before, when you went to the Church of Chains? What was the difference?
The difference was the tools. The tools of recovery that I got, which are my 5 pillars. I got exactly what I was looking for and then some. A whole lot more than I had bargained for. Because when I went there, I just wanted a way to stop using.
Yeah.
Only to find out that the problem was me. The problem was never the substances. Substances don't have a problem. They're not alive, bruh. I'm the problem, you understand? And I had to make peace with the fact that this is who I am. Me, I'm an addict. That's what defines me. If you want to know Moagi first and foremost, know that Moagi is an addict.
Yeah.
And if you know what an addict is, the type of character defects and the wars that I have to fight on a daily basis, and the tools that I use to fight that war, then you will know who I am. You will know how to address me. You will know how to approach me. You will know how to interact with me, because those are exactly the same tools that I'm going to use to interact with you. I needed to be honest with myself that I have a problem. And I still need to be honest with myself on a daily basis, because I'm only an arm's length away from using.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. You know, with each and every passing day, I have to wake up and take a conscious decision that I'm not going to use.
Yeah.
And I have to do my step work. I have to do meetings. I have to, okay, I don't have a sponsor and I've been scarce at meetings, but I have you. I have a friend to call when things go rough.
Yeah.
You know, I have my higher power. And I've aligned myself with people who are pro-recovery instead of anti-recovery. Being pro-recovery doesn't mean only supporting me verbally, but it also goes through actions. Physically, you have to be pro my recovery. You understand? There's something called cross addiction. You need to be aware of not overcompensating on certain things, whether it be a relationship, whether it be food. And I know because I came and life's problems didn't go away. Life didn't go away.
Yeah.
I still had to face the same difficulties that I did when I was using. I still had to face the same problem, the same circumstances. And there were amends that I needed to do, most importantly, for me to walk in the community with my head held high. And you still continue to do amends on a daily basis. I mean, there are amends that I still haven't gotten to from way back when I was still using. You understand? But with the program and with my steps, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
You understand? Because there are certain things that I stumbled upon, which I could have dealt with in a very different way if I didn't have the steps. I should have relapsed a long time ago. I was in a toxic relationship. I cross-addicted to love addiction. People pleasing, old behaviors. But most importantly, why I'm still going strong is that I dealt with my reservations even in rehab, because there's something called a relapse prevention plan, whereby we also acknowledge things like the most important aspect of a relapse is reservations.
Yeah.
There are things that you need to know and be honest to yourself about, which might lead you to a relapse, and those are things you need to face in your sober state.
So this time around, you didn't even think of picking up a beer and saying, my problem is drugs and not alcohol.
Listen, bro, it's like leaving a toxic relationship. I can't get rid of the memories, the beautiful memories that I have of that relationship, but I can't ignore the negative effect that it had on me.
What happened there? Yeah.
And the most important thing that they taught me at rehab was that you have to play the movie over.
Yeah.
There's always be a time when you see a cold beverage being opened on an advert, and then you remember how it tastes as cold as it looks on that screen. But I mean, I have accepted that I have a problem, my man. I have an allergy. If I'm to open a beer now, it's to open 1,000 beers, and there'll still never be enough.
So tell us, how's your life now? How's your relationship with your mother now? How's your relationship with your niece and nephew?
It's beautiful, because there was never a week my niece and nephew wouldn't cry over my behavior at home and the fight that I brought. I think I've caused them some trauma as well, but I'm still working to amend for that. My mom is good. We do have squabbles every now and then, but it's not how it used to be. My mom's in a happy place. I get to help her now. She even trusts me with money, bruh. Things that would never be the case.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever would have I thought. I mean, I used to never even think of the next 20 minutes. That's how hopeless I was. And now I have a whole future ahead of me.
Yeah.
I even found a partner that can help me plan for my future.
Back
to school.
Yeah.
You know, someone who loves me for me. Not what I have, but for the person that I am. And I wouldn't be this person without the program.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I put God first, then my recovery, and then myself, and then my family, because this is a very selfish program.
Yeah.
This program requires me to put my recovery first, and if anything is gonna go against recovery, then I'm gonna go against that, whatever that is. Do you understand? I'm not gonna place myself in a situation that can trigger me to use again. Do you understand? I mean, I've dealt with all of those things in relapse prevention.
And then your old friends. I mean, how do you deal with seeing your old dealer Because I'm sure you met the old dealer.
You know, the beautiful thing about this program, it teaches you not to hold grudges. When you hold a grudge, you are holding a resentment. And I dealt with resentments a long time ago. I still go and see him because he must see progress through me. Remember, he uses as well. I'm not talking about the other foreign nationals that I used to learn from, but this guy whom I used to be a friend of. Well, I told myself as a brother to me. Because remember, one thing that I said to you in the beginning in part 1 was that I used to always look for a father figure in the people that I brought into my life. I wanted belonging and I wanted to feel loved. And I was seeking for love in a bag instead of searching for it from the inside. I mean, if God loves me more than I love myself, that's more than enough for me.
Brother, that's important. I know
Yeah,
in the literature somewhere it says that finally you realize that God is doing for you what you could not do for yourself.
What I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, that literature, it's powerful.
Beyond measure, bruh. You must remember, this is also a communal program. I only keep what I have by giving it away for free, as it was freely given to me. Rehab, I was only paying for staying at that building and the doctors and the detox medication. But what I got is given freely on a daily basis.
Yeah, man. So, tell us, what would you say to a family out there that they have a problem with an addict, they are hopeless, they don't know hore by thing. Couple, there's an addict that's watching and he's like, yo, I don't know what to do. I'm hopeless, you know. Maybe someone is thinking of suicide.
You know, we have AA and NA meetings that we host on a weekly basis, but the true message is this. This is the main ingredient to the whole recipe. You must know deep down in your heart of hearts, in your soul of souls, that you want to quit. You are ready to quit, and you have to admit, most importantly, that you are powerless. You have to admit that drugs have a power over you. Alcohol has a power over you. Gambling has power over you. Sex has power over you. Even your relationship, love has power over you. You have to admit that you are powerless over these addictions, and there's nothing you can do about it. Whatever your addiction may be, you have to admit that you need help, and you have to accept that you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
You can never do it on your own, because that only leads to a slippery slope. And once you fall off the bandwagon, the pace that you use is higher, the velocity, the rage of the relapse, the vigor of the addiction just becomes more with each and every relapse that you have. So some people have done it dry turkey. But I believe in the 12 steps, because in the 12 steps, you get the tools that you need to live your everyday life. You know, you have a 12-step program. You surround yourself with people that are just like you. Remember, one important thing that I forgot to mention was that when I got to rehab, I got the one thing that I was finally searching for, a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
People who are like me, people who understand me, because all my life, I've always felt lonely in a room full of people.
Because non-addicts don't get addicts. And I mean, why don't you just stop doing drugs? Why don't you just stop drinking like this? Because they don't understand.
You can't.
But once you find your community of addicts, then you find your belonging. Hey, and you find the brother that we speak the same. That's why I always tell people, hey, man, thank you for telling my story, you know, and thank you for reminding me why I'm still in this thing. So, to that parent, what just a few seconds, what can you say to that parent that's hopeless, that thinks, what can you say? Just a few seconds.
Unfortunately, your child has to reach rock bottom.
No.
The person has to be willing to live that life for themselves. You can't force them. And no amount of talking from us or known people in recovery, or people that you know that are in recovery, that can make a person want to quit using. It only leads to three places: institutions, jail, and death. You understand? And the only thing you can do is pray. Offer help, but pray. Don't bombard your child with help that they don't want. Just let them know if they need help, help is available. We are here. There are programs and structures and infrastructure in place that can help with your child's addiction. There's rehab. There's also meetings that we go to, which can spark a light in your child's life.
Yeah.
But ask your child, is your child willing to let go? If the answer is yes, then you have a winning formula.
Yeah.
If they are really willing to quit,
Yeah.
then you have a winning formula.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you for your powerful share. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm your host, Mutamailendo. See you on the next one.